Bop, bop, bop. UFC 49. We're kicking it back at the Apex. We got Islam Makhachev versus Bobby Green is the main event. Bobby Green taking this fight. 10 days notice. Here we go. Let's get into it, baby. All right. In our first fight of the night, we got Victor Altamirano versus Carlos Hernandez. Altamirano comes out plus 110. Hernandez minus 130. Altamirano 10-1. Mexican, just signed to first round management. Carlos Hernandez 7-1. Both scrappy guys coming off the Contender Series. Going to be very close fight, in my opinion. I think this fight is just really two athletic guys that just no one really knows what they're going to bring yet. Like, this is kind of their floor to set their statements. I'm kind of going to keep my hands off of this one. If I have to take a pick, I'll take Altamirano. I just think that he's got a more complete game, but we'll see. Let's shoot this one over to Fishman to start.
Yes, so both of these guys are making their debut. Both of them have split decision wins in Season 5 of the Contender Series. So, like CEO Geeks said, this is a big test for both of them, and we are going to see what they have to offer. But Altamirano, he has some nice kicks, and he has some good groundwork too. But in his last, he's on a 4-win streak, but 2 of them are split decisions. One's a unanimous decision, and one of them's a sub. So, I don't know about scraping split decision wins, but I'm going with Hernandez on this one. 7-win streak. He's never been finished. His only loss was in his first pro fight. So he also trains at VFS Academy. Bilal Muhammad's there. And I'm going with Hernandez on this one.
Yeah. Take Goosey. What do you got on this one?
Yeah, the way I look at this fight, you might as well flip a coin when you're picking it. Both these guys making their UFC debuts after split decision wins on the Contender Series. Personally, I like Victor Altamirano a little bit more. I think he's a little bit slicker on the feet. But both these guys bring solid toughness, good cardio, and a pretty well-rounded game. If this fight does play out on the feet, which I think it has a good chance of, I think Victor Altamirano is going to bring a little bit more pressure and sort of be the one moving forward in most of these exchanges. So that's why I'm going to go with him in this fight.
Yeah, at plus 110, first fight of the night, you want to take a little sprinkle on him. It's a worthy dabble. He's going to come out there and fight for your money, to say the least. Mexican-born, Mexican fight style. I mean, he's going to really lay it out on the line for you. He's proven that in the Contender Series. That's the pick from the Geeks. Let's move on to the next one. We got Ramiz Brahimaj versus Michael Gilmore. Michael Gilmore, 6-4. Ramiz Brahimaj, 9-4. A lot of people want to make the argument Michael Gilmore shouldn't be in the UFC. He's losing all these guys, but he's taking all them on short notice. I mean, I give a little bit of sympathy for the guy. He did lose his fight to Petrovsky. I do think that he is coming along on the floor. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a grappler now or anything like that, but I'm saying that in this fight, it's definitely going to get tested in a fight where Ramiz Brahimaj is going to really going to force this to the ground at all costs. I mean, he can't really stand with Gilmore. Gilmore's pretty slick on the feet. His striking's shown to improve. I'm going to take a little off the wall swing here, and I'm going to think that Michael Gilmore outlasts Ramiz Brahimaj through the first round. He gets through these tight situations. He's going to be in some tight spots. I guarantee that. But I think that he's got a better gas tank, and I think that when the second round comes around, maybe like halfway through the back end of this fight, he's going to start having his way. His strength's going to start to really show. He's going to be able to keep this fight up. And I like Michael Gilmore to get a late finish in this fight, maybe third round. And if not, I think that he's going to do enough to sway the decision in this. Look for the props in this one. If you think Michael Gilmore might have a chance, I think plus 575 is worth a dabble. Ramiz Brahimaj hasn't proved to don't do much. I mean, he just came out and lost to the old vet, and that doesn't say too much good things. I mean, that guy Court McGee, I mean, everyone knows Court McGee. I mean, he's the old savvy vet. I mean, if you're going to be this up and comer, you're going to have to be able to put away guys like that. And for that reason, I think Gilmore can just hold on and cash a really, really valuable ticket for me. Let's go Goosey off rip on this one.
So I hear where you're coming from. I think Michael Gilmore gets a little bit of a bad rep. He was, for those that don't know, obviously tough, the ultimate fighter. It's a show, got people go in, compete in a tournament style to get a UFC contract. He didn't get picked to be on the show, but he came to Vegas anyway, paid his own way, stayed. And to his luck, somebody ended up getting hurt. He was the guy first available, went in and stepped in on short notice. I was going to pick him against Johnny Parsons. I think he was going to find the button in that fight. But Johnny Parsons gets hurt, pulls out. Ramiz Brahimaj steps in on short notice, and it's a bad matchup for him, man. You look at Ramiz Brahimaj, 9 wins, 9 first-round submissions. I've seen Michael Gilmore fight twice against pretty good grapplers, but nothing super proven in the UFC, and he has gotten finished by submission in the first round twice. So I see that as a glaring hole in his game. I have no doubt that he's working on it, but you're getting thrown in there with a proven UFC caliber fighter. I think Ramiz Brahimaj gets that submission in the first round in this one. I will say a little bit hefty on that line there. The value in this one could be on Gilmore, especially if it gets out of the first round. But right now, I'm going to go with Ramiz Brahimaj first round submission.
All right, bold take. But I mean, Brahimaj is 1-2 in the UFC. So, I mean, I don't know if it's like established per se, but Fishman, rip it.
Yeah, so Gilmore, like Goose said, he was a replacement on Tough, and I think he ran into Gilbert Urbina and got subbed, I believe. And then Andre Petrosky is also a Tough contestant who got subbed by Battle, who recently had a fight. And Gilmore, he's 0-1 in the UFC. First fight, sure enough, Andre Petrosky, and he gets knocked out. But plus 280 is good value, and Ramiz, I think he's at minus 360. So, I mean, I think Ramiz has got this. This guy, he's dangerous on the ground, trains at Fortis MMA, and I think he's coming back for a win after losing to Court McGee. He's hungry, and if you look at his record, his last fights have all been alternating wins and losses. So he's actually due for a win his next fight. So that's why I'm picking Ramiz. He's got this. He's going to suffer more. But, yeah, he's due, baby.
He's due. I mean, we're going to work the 50-50 magic here. We're going to do the UFC match like that. All right. I mean, it works. I mean, he's taking this fight on short notice, so he better have a gas tank. That's what I got to say. And if he doesn't have the gas tank, he better be able to end it quick because Gilmore's known to battle back in those later rounds. So the Geeks pick is Ramiz. We are moving on to the next one. All right, next fight, Alejandro Perez versus Jonathan Martinez. This fight's going to be an absolute scrap. Alejandro Perez comes out plus 185. Jonathan Martinez minus 240. I think Jonathan Martinez has the cleaner striking. I think that these guys are both extremely dangerous. As I said before, Alejandro Perez had this kind of crazy inverted arm bar in his last fight where he like bends the arm, locks it between his legs, thrusts the hips, goes to snap it, gets a tap. It was devastating. The kind of guys that can think about breaking bones that aren't in like standard submission positions are the guys that scare me the most because they're lethal, and I love to put my money on them because they can do freak shit and cash your ticket at any moment. So Alejandro Perez, with that being said, not a guy that you like to see minus 240 against, but in this position, I think Jonathan Martinez has him booked just about everywhere. I wouldn't be like over ecstatic to jump at this Jonathan Martinez line, but I am pretty confident that Jonathan Martinez finds a way to get it done inside the distance. Let's go to Goosey off rip.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm going to pick Jonathan Martinez in this one. Now, going into my thought process, he has pretty lethal leg kicks, and I think once he starts getting those going, it's really going to slow down Perez's whole game plan. He has solid takedown defense. In his punch style, he's kind of got that sort of lengthy snap on the end of his punches that will do a lot of damage if Perez finds himself standing up in the second and third round. I think the key for him, obviously, will be to avoid that takedown. I think Jonathan Martinez, he's a lot more dangerous on the feet. If he can keep this one standing, which I anticipate he'll be able to do, Alejandro Perez will continually get more tired throughout the fight as one does. And I see Jonathan Martinez being the fresher fighter going into the second round. And I see him getting the knockout before that bell rings. Let's go Jonathan Martinez, KO, round 2.
All right, yeah, fire. Fish, let's let it rip, baby.
With that being said, Martinez, Factory X Muay Thai, like Goose said, great leg kicks and his strikes. I mean, he's landing a lot of strikes with a lot of accuracy, and he's a younger fighter, 27, in his prime years. And Perez, like Goose said, getting a little older. But I'm gonna go against the flow here. This guy, I'm gonna go with the guy who trains at AKA, and this guy, I mean, he has 3 more wins under his belt, a little bit more experience, and yeah, he's a little bit older, but 27-32. I'm going to take the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he has a little bit more experience on the ground too, 6 subs, and yeah, plus 190. I'm going with Alejandro Perez.
Yeah, that's a good take. I mean, good value pick for a guy that's just so lethal in so many aspects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's move into the next fight. It's a girl fight. It's Hannah Goldie and Jin Frey. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it sweet. Hannah Goldie. Decision. Let's call it a clench war. And let's go Fishman.
Hannah Goldie, she's never been finished. Both of her losses are a unanimous decision. She's got a knockout and a sub. And yeah, I'm not too sure on who to pick on this one, but plus 155, Hannah Goldie. Might as well go with the underdog. She's never been finished. The other girl, Jin Frey, she's been knocked out twice, subbed once, and fuck it, you know. Plus 155, Hannah Goldie. That's right.
Book it. Goose, rip it.
So you look at this fight, I think most people will come to a similar conclusion to me that if this fight stays on the feet at distance, the majority of the time, Jin Frey will be getting her hand raised. And if they're up close, body to body, clinch on the ground, Hannah Goldie will most likely be getting the better of those exchanges. Now, you look at it, Jin Frey definitely fought better competition, better record. That being said, Hannah Goldie is coming down from 125 to 115 in this one. She doesn't look super big at 125, but she is noticeably has the strength to compete in that division. I'm excited to see her wrestling skills in this one, in a 115-pound fight. I think she's able to get this one to the ground, and I think she's going to work a few submissions. Whether she gets it or not, I'm not 100% sure. But I will say Hannah Goldie by submission or decision in this one.
All right. Yeah. Keep it simple. Don't bet a lot of money on it because them ladies will let you down, man. Right when you got the most confidence in them, they'll let you down. So let's move on to this real big banger prospect extravaganza. Let's go, baby. We got T McKinney, the man himself, Terence McKinney, versus Faris Ziam. This is going to be a scrap. Like, I can't even imagine. It's either going to end in a flash second, like Terence McKinney has showed he can do in his debut, ending the boy, Matt Frivola, in 7 seconds with a 1-2 straight down the pipe, ending his life. Debatably one of the best debuts in history. Fares Ziam coming off 2 good W's. I mean, pretty solid competition. Luigi Vedramini and Malarkey. You could say that it was a very close fight, so he didn't do anything to like really set himself apart as like a top prospect, something that you need to really worry about. You could see it in his striking. He's very long, diverse, a lot of different stuff, very creative. But the thing is, he's not the strongest build. And when you're coming at a guy like Terence McKinney, you're going to need to be able to stop takedowns for 15 minutes. And you're going to need to have some explosive, powerful shit to make him not want to take you down over and over. And Fares Ziam just really hasn't flashed that explosiveness to me to take him in this fight. If he showed me something that I could point at and be like, that's how this fight's going to go down, like Sean Woodson did when he kneed him, Terence McKinney knocked him out back in the day. If he had something like that, I could point to and be like, okay. But he doesn't, man. He doesn't pose that serious threat to me. I think McKinney can take this fight to the ground, and I think that if it's striking, I think that he'll have a little bit of success with those short bursts going straight at him. Honestly, I don't see Fares Ziam as that super awesome like counter striker as a lot of people do. I think that he's got a long way to go, and I think Terence McKinney's going to have his number on Saturday night. So I like Terence McKinney. I would say probably to decision because Terence McKinney is going to have a lot of control time in this fight. So let's go to Fishman off rip.
Terence McKinney. All right, so this guy, his debut came out, knocked the dude out in 7 seconds. And so this dude, I mean, underdog money, plus 110. Terence McKinney has got ground game too, which is scary because Chiesa, he's known Michael Chiesa since he was younger. I believe he was his wrestling coach, and that's where he gets his ground from. But this dude's got pop. I mean, in the lightweight division, his last 4 wins are knockouts, and 3 of them are under 20 seconds. And the 4th is in 1:20. So like CEO Geeks said, I mean, I'll take McKinney all day over Perez. And but yeah, I'm going with McKinney. But Perez, on the other hand, he's his last 2 wins were unanimous decision. One was against Jamie Malarkey and then Don Mad. But he's never been finished, and I think McKinney's going to be the first person to knock him out.
Yeah, Goose.
Yeah, you look at this fight and 2 young prospects going at it. You know, I would say easily one of the better fights on the card. Maybe the one I'm looking forward to most, to be honest. Just because Terence McKinney, you know, he has the potential to be something electric in the UFC. You look at Fares Ziam, he's a good striker. He kind of does that point fighting style on the outside and just tries to stay out of harm's way. In his last fight with Luigi Vendramini, you saw the gas tank start to fade at the end. He was doing a decent job of stuffing the takedowns early, but as the fight went on, Vendramini was finding his way inside. I think, and he was just evading those overhands and those quick punches that Vendramini was throwing. I think that does not bode well for him because Terence McKinney is, in my opinion, significantly quicker than Luigi Vendramini. And I think he finds his way inside a lot better. And I think when Fares Ziam has those hands down and chin up, trying to get his way back, I think Terence McKinney's going to find his way inside and find that button. Whether it puts the lights out or not, I'm not 100% sure. I know he's lost by submission twice out of his 3 losses. So he does have vulnerability in the ground game. And if it gets down there, especially, Terence McKinney will be right in his wheelhouse. So I'm going to take the underdog with more paths to victory in this one. I'm going to go with Terence McKinney.
Yeah, well said. More paths to victory, to say the least. We're going to move to the next fight. It's a girl fight. Josie Nunez versus Ramona Pasquale. Ramona 6-2. Josie is 8-1. She's Brazilian. Ramona is from some kind of country that I don't know the flag for. I don't know too much about this fight. I don't even know if it's a featherweight or a bantamweight fight. I'll take Ramona. Let's pass it off to Fishman.
Yes. So this fight is kind of interesting. So this is in the women's bantamweight, and both of them are on these. They both have knockout power. So Josie Nunez 1-0 in the UFC, but she's on a 7-win streak. 6 of them are knockouts. She's on a 6 knockout streak, and she's never been subbed, never been knocked out. The only question about Nunez is her gas tank, and I think the longer the fight goes on, she'll get sloppier. And Ramona, I was watching her fight at Invicta, and she trains at Syndicate. She's on a 3-finish streak. She's got subs. She's got knockouts. She has been knocked out before, has been subbed before, but I'm going with the underdog pick on this. Ramona, she's got I like her striking. She's got some nice knees in the clinch, and I think she's got it.
Gotta love a big underdog in a competitive girls fight. Goose, let's hear it.
Yeah, I hear what you guys are saying. Bring me some chalk in this one, though. I'm going to go with Josie Nunez. You look, what was Doug Martin nicknamed the muscle hamster? It might be time to pass that one on to Josie Nunez, because while she is not very tall, she is very muscled up. She's got a lot of strength in the octagon, and I think that will provide problems if she's able to find her way inside and get into the clinch. I think if this fight is on the ground, she'll be at most comfort. If it stays standing, there's a little bit of worry. But you look at her opponent, and she beats bad fighters and loses to good fighters. Is Josie Nunez a good fighter? She's pretty good. I think she has potential to be do some pretty good things in the UFC, and because of that, give me Josie Nunez in this one.
All right. So we're split up on that one, but Ramona's gonna take the cake for the Geeks on that one by unanimous decision.
I respect it.
Let's move into the next one, the headliner for the prelims. Another fight that I'm probably the most excited for. Ignacio Bahamundus versus Zhu Rong. This is a fight between two really young kids, really young talents. I want to say Ignacio is 23, 24 years old. Zhu Rong is coming up on his 22nd birthday on March 7th. He's 18-4. Chinese. He came in with a lot of hype. There was a fight night not too long ago. I want to say it was about 3 or 4 months ago where they came in. There was a whole stack of them. There was about 3 Chinese prospects. I think they went 1-2. Rong did not get a win. So it was a failed attempt at trying to showcase a lot of these young Chinese talents. But he comes back and gets a good W in his last fight. He's 18-4. Like I said, he's 22 years old. I pulled this up on him because I could not believe it when I saw it. He's just started fighting in 2016, right? I mean, and I say like just started fighting 2016, right? 5 years ago, okay? That's 16 years old, all right? When he was 16 years old, he had 5 fights in the same year. He went 4-1. When he was 17 years old, he had 4 fights. He went 3-1. 18, 4-1. 19, 3-0. 20, 3-0. 21, 2-1. I mean, the kid's a winner long distance. The kid's on pace to set millions of records. He can keep this shit up, but I love his experience. But in his last fight, I see him as just kind of a walking body bag, a heavy bag, I should say. I think Ignacio is really going to have a lot of chances to just really let some combinations rip in this fight. Like, you thought that you saw the spinning wheel kick knockout against Roosevelt. I think he's going to pull some wild shit out of his bag for this one. He's going to have a guy who's very tough, 22 years old, not too much experience. He's going to be making a lot of mistakes in the striking department. He can wrestle, which does scare me a little bit, but Bahamundus has a great takedown defense. And if it gets down to the mat, he trains with Bilal, so I feel like he can get up pretty good. I think Bahamundus is going to give us another spectacular knockout. And if I had to guess how, I would say by flying knee, because I feel like Zhu Rong's going to quickly realize he can't stand with him, shoot his shot. Bahamundus is going to be ready with the highlight reel sitting there. Cha-ching, kneecap to the dome. Give me round two. Round two, Bahamundus flying knee. Let's go Fishman off rep.
Yeah, so this fight, we got two guys that are coming to fight, and it's going to be cool. I think this is going to be one of the best fights of the night for sure. And so Zhu, he's 1-1 in the UFC. Both of them are 1-1 in the UFC. Bahamundez came off the Dana White Contender Series knockout in season 4. Both of them have never been finished. Rongzhu is 12 knockouts and 4 subs. And the thing is, he's been subbed 3 times, but his fight style is get you to the ground and beat you up. And he trains at ATT, and I don't like going against them. And like you said, he made his pro debut in 2016, and he has 22 fights since then. I mean, a lot of people wait and are patient, pick out fights that they think are good for them. And this dude has just been active as hell. 2020 he's been 3-0, and 2021 2-1. But I mean, this dude, his last fight, who was it against? Brandon Jenkins, the knockout win. That guy trained at Syndicate. He was a good fighter. And this is going to be a brawl. But I'm going with Rongzhu on this. Underdog plus 190. But definitely, I also think Bahamundus has been subbed twice, doesn't have any subs himself. So, I don't know. I think it's if he gets put on his back, I think he's definitely going to be uncomfortable. And that's right in Rongzhu's playhouse. I mean, that's where he's going to be, I feel like.
You see what he got?
Yeah. CEO, I think me and you are seeing this fight pretty similarly. At first, I saw Zhu Rong being a pretty hefty underdog. I liked the all-around game he was going to bring. I like his grappling a little bit. But the more I dove into it and the more I started to appreciate what Ignacio Bahamundez did in his last fight, which was stuff 12 takedowns from a pretty good, or I would say a good grappler in Roosevelt Roberts. And he has 100% takedown defense in the UFC. You pair that with his pretty sizable reach advantage in this one and slick boxing skills and kicks. I am going to side with Ignacio Bahamundez in this one. Specifically, I think this will be very close through the first round, maybe halfway through the second, but I think that Ignacio Bahamundez's abilities to stuff takedowns is really going to gas Zhu Rong out as this fight goes on. You know, he's going to be able to keep him at range and make him sort of throw some sloppy shots and takedowns up. And the more you get out of your game plan in the UFC is typically when the gas tank starts to fail. I see Ignacio Bahamundez being the one that is able to stick to his game plan more so than Zhu Rong in this one. And for that reason, give me Ignacio Bahamundez.
Yep. I mean, the lines are kind of pretty accurate, in my opinion, for a lot of these fights. Bahamundus is around minus 250 area. So not crazy valuable, but I do think that he's going to get a spectacular finish in this fight. So with that being said, we're going to move into the main card. The opener for the main card is an absolute banger. There is a lot of sleeper fights on this card, man. I mean, not a lot of big names, but a lot of big fists, a lot of big entertainment. We got Gregory Rodriguez, 11-3, coming out against Armen Petrosyan, 6-1. Armen Petrosyan had a devastating knockout on the Contender Series and is a Muay Thai national champion. All right, he was the champion at Fight Nights Global. All right, he has 6 knockout victories now after the Contender Series. This guy is scary, man. Every single fight he has, he knocks out his opponent. He's got one loss, but that happens in young careers. Gregory Rodriguez, they say that his grappling might be the best part of his game, but he's just showed us like this elite evolution of his striking. Where I see this fight, I see it taking place on the feet, and I see it going no longer than 3 rounds. I love Gregory Rodriguez's like evolution. Like I said, like I love his progress, but like I hate this matchup. Like I really hate this matchup for him, just because if he can't come out with a strict game plan to get this fight where he needs to go, and he just wants to play the striking battle with Armen Petrosyan, he's gonna go to sleep in this fight because Petrosyan is gonna be able to find the switch, and I could just see that elite caliber striking it when he strikes. Like I can just see it. It's fluid, and Gregory Rodriguez has those moments where he hesitates a little bit. He gets a little bit cautious. He's just a little question mark throws up. Just those slight moments, and those slight moments are gonna cost him a highlight reel knockout on Saturday night. I got Armen Petrosyan, round 2, knockout. Let's go Goose off rep.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. You look at Armen Petrosyan, pretty elite striking, and you can't always say that about someone making their official UFC debut. He went on the Contender Series and a really good showing. He was able to, he got clinched up, was able to keep the fight on the feet, get back to range, and go to work. I think the experience of Gregory Rodriguez could be the difference in this one. And it's hard for me to pick someone that is coming into the UFC, making their debut, 6-1, so 7 professional MMA fights. And I really haven't seen his ground game get tested. I've seen Gregory Rodriguez under fire, make good decisions, and come out on top. I think I saw Gregory Rodriguez, even since his last fight, has had 2 grappling matchups, which means he's doing the right things, because he won't be able to go in there and stand and bang with Armen in this one. It will be a short night for him. But if he can get into the body, find his way to the hips, and work his way to the ground, I think we're looking at a completely different fight. And for that reason, the great strength of Gregory Rodriguez, I think he's going to be able to get him to the ground. Will he be able to submit him? I'm not 100% sure. I know he has a few submissions on his record, so I would definitely not be surprised. But overall, for the all-around game, a little bit more experience, I'm going to give the slight edge to Gregory Rodriguez in this one.
Yeah. Fishman, what do you got?
Yeah, so Armen Petrosyan, 6-1, pretty fresh in his career. His pro debut was in 2018, and he's had 7 total fights. He's got knocked out 1 time, no subs. No, he has not been subbed, so big question mark on the ground. And the UFC is not like the Muay Thai fights where you're just standing up and brawling and you're not worrying about takedowns and what someone like Gregory Rodriguez can bring to the table. And but this dude is dangerous. I mean, he has power, and his in 2021, 3 knockouts, and dangerous guy, plus 135. But overall, I like Gregory Rodriguez for the reason being he had a Dana White Contender Series opportunity and he lost. But since then, he went to LFA, had 2 knockout wins, and then comes to the UFC, has a knockout win and unanimous decision. And did I cut out?
Yeah.
There was an Amber Alert. I'm gonna retake my take on that. I'm gonna make it quick though. So Armen Petrosyan, making his debut, and this guy's dangerous. 6 knockouts, but his ground game is going to be a big question mark with someone like Gregory Rodriguez and the tools he brings to the table. 2021, 3 knockouts, but the thing is, this isn't a Muay Thai match, and he's going to have to worry about the takedowns, going to have to worry about the subs. And Gregory Rodriguez, 6 knockouts himself. He's been knocked out twice, but this is what I like about Gregory Rodriguez. And he had Dana White Contender Series opportunity and lost, but he goes to LFA, has 2 knockout wins. One of them's for a belt, and comes to the UFC with a knockout win and a unanimous decision win. He's coming off the knockout win on Junyong Park, and he trains at Sanford MMA. So I would love to pick the underdog on this one, but it's his debut. He's only been this is going to be his 8th fight. His pro debut was in 2018, and I'm going to pick Gregory Rodriguez, the guy with more experience, more ground game, and is just on a hot streak right now and coming for vengeance after losing that Dana White Contender Series loss.
I love the Sanford Gym add-in right there, because I do think he's going to have to stick to a good game plan. And as long as he sticks to that game plan, then you know what? Maybe he will scrape this out, because I feel like any time at distance is dangerous time for a guy that got knocked out by Diabetes Boy. So
Ooh. That was a tough L for sure.
I mean, that one hurts, bro. I mean, the chin was exposed in that case, but I did just look, and Petrosian's 1L was a first round knockout himself. So both proven to go down early in fights. So gonna be a banger for sure. Let's move on to the next one. Next fight's gonna be an absolute scrap and a half, or is it? It's Arman Tsarukyan versus Joel Alvarez. Arman Tsarukyan, 17-2. Joel Alvarez, 19-2. Last time we saw Joel Alvarez, he missed weight and beat the living Christ out of our boy. We faded him in that fight. We were looking like dunces after that. Comes out against Thiago Moises. I'm not sure really what the whole scramble was in particularly, but I just remember Joel Alvarez sending vicious elbows on repeat. And for a guy that likes to send elbows from closed guard, dude, that's winner stuff. That's winning shit. That's how you win fights. That's how you win close rounds. That's how you get wrestlers off of you. I love Joel Alvarez. Ever since that performance, I've just been like, I can't see myself fading this guy. If he comes out as an underdog, I'm taking him every single time. I understand that Arman Tsarukyan is a fantastic wrestler on the other side, and he's shown some fantastic things. But, I mean, Joel Alvarez, the submission threats that he poses, he is a submission guy. Tsarukyan is known to gas people out, wrestle them, pace them, do all that kinds of stuff. But for Joel Alvarez, he's going to have so many ways out of this fight at any moment, really. I mean, the guy is so lethal, and he really has a lot of X factors that kind of bounce away from Arman. So I'm leaning towards Joel Alvarez in this fight. I guess I've got a good amount of bold takes, man. I'm just now realizing, but yeah, I like Joel Alvarez in this fight. So let's go Goose off rip.
Okay, so while I will agree, Joel Alvarez looked phenomenal in his last fight. I think Thiago Moises could have come with a little better game plan. We saw him kind of just accept his fate as things started to turn poorly for him. But that being said, Joel Alvarez, his last 2 fights, he has missed weight. Okay. If he goes in and misses weight, that's going to be such a bad look. So right off rip, I'm anticipating one of his worst weight cuts so far, because he has to hit the number. He can't go in over the number, or else Papa Dana will not be too happy with him, win, lose, or draw. But then you go into this fight. I really like Arman Tsarukyan. He has phenomenal wrestling. He's been out there in Tiger Muay Thai, getting the hands and feet right. I think he'll be able to hold his own on the feet. I don't think he'll be too thrilled about staying there, and his wrestling mixed with the suspect takedown defense of Joel Alvarez is a pretty good mixture for the Sarukian win recipe. He needs to be crisp with the takedowns, though. If he gets that head outside, Joel Alvarez could easily grab the gilly. But I see Sarukian being able to mix it up on the feet enough, shoot in and get his takedowns, and get out with the decision win in this one.
All right, yeah. Fish.
In this fight, we have Arman Sarukian minus 220 and Joel Alvarez at plus 160, I believe. And so Sarukian, let's go with this. His last three dudes he faced, Davi Ramos, Mafropola, and Christos Giagos. And Alvarez, Joe Duffy, Alexander Vakolev, and Thiago Moises. And one thing about the weight cuts, I think he's going to make it a point in this camp to make weight. I mean, there's no way. That's probably one of his main concerns, I think, is going to be cardio, gas tank, making sure that weight's going to be on point. But they're both 4-1 in the UFC. They're both on a 4-fight winning streak. And Arman's streak looks like three unanimous decisions and a knockout, while Joel's streak is looking like 2 subs and 2 knockouts. And for that reason, I mean, Arman Sarukian, this guy, his only loss in the UFC came from Islam Makhachev, and he made his debut in 2015. So he's young, and he's been active as hell. 19 fights since 2015, and 6 knockouts. Never been subbed. And I mean, he's takedowns. He's going to be working for the takedowns, and that's scary for me because Alvarez never been subbed, and he's found a tap 16 times. So I'm going with Joel on this for the plus 160 money, and I think he's more of a threat on the ground, and I just don't think Arman is I just don't see him staying out of trouble for the whole fight. I find Joel grabbing something, a neck, an arm, something. He's going to find something. I feel it.
And he's the kind of guy that won't tap. So we might see some fucking nasty shit. You know? All right. So there's a little bold take from the Geeks right there. We got a little 2-3 on a big dog.
I will say, though, I think that this one is my most forward, or the fight I'm looking forward to most. This fight is going to be phenomenal for however long it lasts.
Yeah, 2 guys that love to deal damage. Next fight is a girls' fight again. It's Priscilla Cochiera versus Ji Leon Kim. I'll take the Brazilian. Priscilla. I don't know the odds. It's a flyweight match. I don't know why it's so high on the card, but here it is. Let's go Fish.
Yeah, so I'm going with Jeon Kim on this one because one, she trains at Syndicate, never been finished, has 2 knockouts and 3 subs. And Priscilla's coming off a sub loss to Jillian Robertson, and to me, it just smells like a bad matchup to her. And Jeon Kim, I think, is going to come out with a victory with a sub.
Yeah, quick and simple. Goose, what do you got for this one?
Yeah, I'm picking Jeon Kim too. No real analytics. I just don't really like Priscilla Capoeira or whatever her name is. Last fight, she was like getting stubbed and jabbing eyes behind her and stuff.
Oh.
Like she's just doing all the dirty shit. I kind of hope she gets her clock cleaned in this one. I see her kind of getting stuck on the feet. I don't think her ground game's that good. I know Jeon Kim has pretty good hands, and a good gas tank to match. So give me Ji-Yeon Kim in this one.
Yeah, I'm reversing my pick immediately after hearing the facts at hand. I remember watching that fight and just being actually sick to my stomach. I mean, it was like I turned to the people I'm watching it with, and I'm like, dude, like, she's really trying to take her eyes out. Like, this is fucked up. This is 5 o'clock on a Saturday, and I'm watching two ladies gouging each other's eyes out on TV right now. Like, this lady needs to be put in her place. I feel like the UFC does a good job of putting those people in their place. So we'll see what Yeon Kim's got for her. Moving into the co-main, Wellington Turman, 17-5, Brazilian, fighting Misha Sirkinov, 15-7. This is a middleweight scrap. The odds come out on this fight. They pin Sirkinov as -120. Wellington Turman, slight even. He's even now. He was -110 earlier. He's even now. Initial thoughts on this fight. Wellington Turman is so good at letting you down. Like, he really is. He really almost blew a fight to Sam Alvey that I think he literally almost won all 3 rounds and still lost. Like, this guy really knows how to blow it. With that being said, he shows a lot of projectability. He's so strong. He's got good grappling. He looks like he's got so much power in his hands. It looks like he just really can't put it all together in my terms. Speaking of not being able to put it all together, we got Misha Serkinov on the other side. Just a wet blanket that you got to keep off of you, because if you can't get the wet blanket off, it's going to stick, and it's going to get stickier, and it's just going to fucking mush right into your skin, and you're going to be smelt. You know what I'm saying? It's simple as that. So I think this fight's as simple as Turman needs to keep it up, because he is a slip artist, and if it goes to the mat, I see him slipping up somehow, some way. Misha Serkinov by submission, maybe decision. I'll scratch how I see it, but if I had to do it with a gun to my head, I'm going Serkinov submission round 3. I think Turman just gasses, makes some stupid mistake. He could be winning the whole fight, honestly. He really could be. Like, but I just don't have the confidence in this guy to give me 15 winning minutes, let alone 8. However you want to look at it. He can't give me 2 rounds this fight. Let's go Fishman off rip.
Yeah, so Misha Sirkinov, 6-4 in the UFC, 34 years old, and he's coming off 2 L's in 2020, a knockout loss to Ryan Spann and a split decision loss to Krzysztof Jotko. And he's got 4 knockouts, been knocked out 4 times, and he has 9 subs and has been subbed twice. But his striking, I think he'll outstrike Wellington, and I think he's just a little too much for him on the ground as well. But 34, I mean, good gym, extreme couture, but Wellington Turman, his last 3 fights, like you said, Sam Alvey, not impressed. Bruno Silva got knocked out. Andrew Sanchez got knocked out. And so, I mean, it's tough for me to pick Wellington, but I'm not going to pick Wellington. I'm going to go with Misha Sirkinov on this one. And I'm going to ride with the extreme couture and the wet blanket.
Let's go. Ride that Russian blanket, baby. Goose, I got a feeling you got a bold take. Let's hear it.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, this fight's kind of disgusting to me. Every time I pick Wellington Turman, I lose, whether I pick him or against him, because I did pick Sam Alvey just because I completely thought he was done, and he came out and had a pretty good performance. Misha Serkinov, he also just like kind of gets super tired in there and ends up moving slowly in the later rounds. But you look at it, Misha Serkinov has fought a lot better competition. Statistically, in the UFC, he has a little better striking stats. Obviously, I think he's going to go in and hope for the takedown, but Wellington Turman, that's probably the best part of his game is he has 100% takedown defense in the UFC. If the fight gets stuck on the feet, which it probably will, this is going to be an absolute slobber knocker with both guys inevitably being tired and sloppy in there in the later rounds. Part of me wants to pick Wellington Turman and the young factor in that fight, but Sirkinov, I think he's bringing a little bit more crisp skill set. Not that he's going to go out there and be a world beater in this one, but I do see him doing enough to get his hand raised against Wellington Turman in this one. So I'm going to pick Misha Serkinov.
All right, we got the clean sweep. I mean, Wellington Turman got his lights. Like when we're talking about these knockouts, we're not just talking about like knockouts. This man got decapitated in two of his last three scraps. I mean, look at Johnny Walker. I mean, this stuff has an impact, man. Like your brain is not as strong. So, I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if Sirkinov hits him with some crazy shit. I mean, just the damage he's taken, who knows? We're going to the main event. We got a late replacement on 10 days. We got the king, Bobby Green, stepping in to face Khabib's cousin, the world beater, the prodigy. Everyone says is the next up-and-coming champion out of Dagestan. It's Islam Makhachev, who's 21-1. All right. I could go into a long synopsis on this fight about how I really think that Bobby Green's got this great wrestling in his back pocket that he could take out and that he could really utilize and maybe expose Islam on the feet. But here's the facts about it. Islam's better on the feet than Bobby Green. He's way more diverse. I mean, Bobby Green puts on a clinic in his last fight. Hawk Pross just wanted to box him. Like, I don't know what that game plan was. I'm glad that we ended up fading Hawk Pross in that fight, but that was a terrible game plan. Bobby Green, he's going to be under the microscope. He's going to have Khabib. He's going to have all the legendary coaches, all the best camp in the world behind him. He's going to get strategized. He's going to get picked apart. I can't wait to see how Islam Makhachev goes into this fight. I just can't wait to see what Khabib and them cook up. I feel like they can do whatever they want in this fight. They might even entertain their game plan just to perform. You know, they might literally do that because this is a mismatch, unfortunately. Hype is a real thing. Confidence is a real thing. But Islam Makhachev is a realer thing, if I might say. I think he's going to take down Bobby Green in this fight, inevitably, hold him against the fence, maybe use a little Khabib chain wrestling, get him down to the mat, and he's going to submit him in some kind of way. Bobby Green, yeah, I mean, talk about his credentialed wrestling, but Islam Makhachev is on a mission from Allah, and there's nothing stopping this guy, especially not Bobby Green on 10 days' notice when he's telling everybody that he's losing 30 pounds in 4 days and he's eating all this shit. It's not happening. So that's my bold take. Islam inside. It's honestly too much of a pepper from the lines. I mean, I think it's minus 250 to get him inside. I think parlaying that is honestly a safe move because 5 rounds is not going to happen. If you think Bobby Green and Islam Makhachev are going to dance and box for 5 rounds, I think that you need a reality check. So I'm lagging a little bit right now, but let's go into Goosey first off the rip on this one. I want to hear what he's got to say because this is a big Bobby Green guy over here.
Yeah, I'm going to start by saying BMF move, Bobby Green, thanks for stepping up. Thanks for keeping this card alive. Thanks for giving us what I'm sure is going to be an entertaining main event. That being said, I'm on the same page as you. I think this is a mismatch. You look at it, I think Bobby Green's best bet would have been making him cut all his weight down to 155. But now with that out of the picture, you're giving him less of a weight cut. Kind of a drop in opponent. I'm not going to say Bobby Green's bad and doesn't deserve to be a main event and all that, but you're fighting Dagestan's finest right now. Like, you got the best ever coming out of there in the corner. You have the best active Dagestani in the octagon doing the fighting. I think Bobby Green's going to come out, and he said he's going to be talking, trying to get in his head. But at the end of the day, man, like, that's not going to phase Islam. Islam's going to walk forward. Islam's going to eventually, I think not even eventually, I think early he's going to be able to get him down. And I think it ends up being Islam the one that's talking crap and breaking Bobby Green in there to an eventual tap. I feel bad saying this stuff about Bobby Green because I do like him and I respect what he's doing. But at the end of the day, like, Islam's next up. And if he, like, you look from an outsider's perspective at the career of Islam Makhachev, he's not getting this close and losing to Bobby Green. And at the end of the day, I think you were spot on. Islam inside, parlay worthy. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, for sure. Fish, what you got for this one?
Yeah, I mean, odds on this are ridiculous. Bobby Green, like Goose said, absolute set of balls on this dude for taking this fight short notice and just going up against someone that no one wants to fight. No one's itching to fight this dude. And this guy's like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. And for like that, with that mentality, it's being the underdog. And it's just, Islam has a lot of pressure on him, but he doesn't. He's so good. The pressure's on him, but it's not. You know, you're fighting a guy that's not as good as you. And, but I think Islam, he's going to get the job done. And he's just too much. And you can't go against him. But Bobby Green, I just want to give him mad props because, like, this is just, it's going to be an entertaining fight. And I just want to see him, I just want to see a good fight. I want to see it get stretched out. I don't want to see an early sub. And it'd be cool to see him win for sure, but I think Islam's going to walk away, but I want to see I want to see Islam work for it. I want to see Bobby Green put up a great fight. But let's see how it goes down. Plus 550, might as well throw a quick little 5 on it, you know, but you might lose it. You probably lose it, but
might as well take your $5 and throw it in the toilet, my guy.
Yeah, exactly. But
I will keep going.
No, that's it.
Oh,
that's about it.
Yeah. So I will say, maybe this fight, probably this fight doesn't go for Bobby Green, but I hope he gets something good out of it, man, because he really is taking such a massive risk for, I guess if he does win, it is huge reward, but that chance is slim. So hopefully there are good things on the other side of this for Bobby Green and his career.
You know what I'm really like having flashes of right now? I'm seeing it all again, man. I'm seeing Hamzat versus Jing Liang when they went over there, and everyone was like, oh, but Jing Liang's got pretty good takedown defense. Like, you know, he can wrestle a little bit. Like, he's good, man. Like, he's number 11. Like, this is all hype or whatever. And then what happened? He came out. He didn't take a single strike. He picked him up, showed him to the boss, and he said, this is my house. Put him down, submitted him. Clearly distinguished the levels in the game. I am seeing flashes of such. I think that it's almost Dan Hooker-esque, where it's like, what the fuck was that? It was so quick. It's like these guys are not even on the same level or even in the same ballpark. These guys shouldn't be training on the same planet type shit. So that wraps up the picks for the Geeks. You know where our minds are at. We're going to show the gauntlet. We're going to post the gauntlet this week. So get after that. We're going to post how to get in it and, 50 bones on the line.
Not much. I will say I do want to highlight last week, BKFC, Geeks were on the scene. Mike Perry, Luis Palomino, Chad Mendez, they all showed out.
Yeah, man, we talked about the picks. Man, we gave you the locks. All of them performed, man. It was a flawless night from the Geeks at BKFC. We got to floor access while we're talking right now. Postman fights on Friday, Challenger Series. Everybody tune in. There is a delivery inbound.
Delivery.
Geeks are out.